Since Me Too began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same kind of scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
Well, because the Me Too movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now, publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail, get his lick back.
Whoa, wait a second. That Sean Carter, which would be Jay-Z, funded the Me Too movement to get R. Kelly put in jail. Why R. Kelly? I mean, he was pissing on people, but come on, why Kells?
Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't really co-sign anything that she says. I've never had her on my show, and I don't have any plans to have her on my show. No. She's got an album in 20 years, and a lot of this stuff is just
all right, hold on
stuff she's...
Hold up. He said she hasn't had an album in 20 years. Nigga, when was your last album? Who is you to talk about when she had an album? See, this is what I be talking about, man. This is exactly what I be talking about. See, he got me started early. Look at his face, too. You know what he looked like? There was this movie, I think it was called Legend, and there was like this flying dog, right? It's big. It was like a trail, and that thing, his face, he looks like that right now with that goofy-ass beard and just goofy looking.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
He rolled the R, dude.
See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is why did you do this? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Yes. I see that you know your judo well. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get?
Okay. Talib Kweli was quoted as saying, when you shine bright, some won't enjoy the darkness of your shadow. So when you shine bright, you will cast a shadow. And some people won't like the fact that it overcasts them. Okay. So be careful of shining so bright that somebody's in your shadow right behind you.
I understand the quote. And it's powerful.
You take a look at bacon and some of these products, and some people don't eat bacon anymore.
Trump talking about the price of bacon being too high, and that he was going to dedicate part of his presidency to making sure that price came down so the American families
put him in the fucking office.
Yeah, for bacon.
He doesn't know what the price of bacon is, bro.
No, he doesn't.
Look, the point is, I agree with that point. I'm not saying I'm voting for the guy because of that. I'm just saying bacon's too damn expensive.
Y'all niggas don't listen. Went to a hearing. This gangster lawyers said if he tells us about Sean Puffy Combs having sex with underage boys, we'll give him a proffer agreement. Federal government did that in 2011. But y'all want to blame Big Gene because he said he heard something. If I go to the precinct and say, well, I heard that he bust Usher ass, who told you that? I say, yo, told me he used to do this when he like that. They go to him and they say, oh, I never told Gene nothing like that. And then look at Gene like this.
It's always weird when you talk about yourself in the third person, though.
Right.
Y'all already say I can't hold water.
He can't seem to stay out of these videos, man.
Kris Jenner, Lupita Nyong'o, Sean Penn, wow, Tyrese Gibson, Zendaya, Big Sean, Michael B. Jordan, Future, Adele, Steve Harvey, Tiana Taylor, Floyd Mayweather, Dr. Dre, LL Cool J, Swiss Beats, Lala Anthony, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds. They got Deadpool?
now they're just name dropping. I don't think all of these folks were like in there slapping baby oil on each other and, you know, sliding across the floor into a butt crack.
You just start off with everybody who was dressed in white on one of those big bed pictures.
And start with that crew, right? With
That
the shirts
crew right
open,
there.
with the chest
Right.
out crew. Yeah, that group.
Right.
Let's
Everybody
start
who's laying down in some sort of communal bed, those are the first people you need to check out.
They vetted 3,000 people.
It only came with 100. Yeah, that means that the rest of the 3,000 was bullshit.
Usher had a mama. He had a daddy, may not been involved in life. He may have uncles, aunts, or whatever like that. When they heard about that shit, and they heard it way before Big Gene heard about it, they should have did something about it. You motherfuckers want to have selective outrage. Well, you should have did that. You shouldn't have worked on. I shouldn't have did a motherfucking thing because he was a grown man when I found out about it, and he was still fucking with him hard body.
Like, I don't respect any of the talking and stuff if he was grimy, you know? But if you're P. Diddy's personal #1 security, you're probably making a boatload of cash. So what's he supposed to do?
Hand him the oil.
Oil, please. You know?
I mean, all it says is you're a shitbag. Like, you're a shitbag for not saying something. And then if you didn't say something back then to protect your paycheck, you're a shitbag now.
Right. Well, it looks like hold on. I'm not in the camera here. I need y'all to see me. Forget that. Y'all got to see me. Here we go. I believe that we are officially live. So thank you once again for joining into another Purge of the BS Tuesday edition. We're going to hit our topics today. We had to slow it down the other day. I had a little thing I had to take care of. But today we are back, as usual, with plenty of BS to purge. Plenty of it. Now you guys know who I am, what I am, and how I do, right? Now because we didn't finish up the other day, I had to bring back my boy Bricks for this one because we are going to be covering that crazy space flight that Katy Perry went on, the Save Act myths, the arson at Shapiro's house, and why this dude, Vitaly or Vitaly or whatever his name is even a thing to talk about. So with that, I gotta bring back my boy Bricks. Bricks, would you mind purging the BS with me this morning? Please.
Of course, man.
Oh.
I mean, I got some fresh news. I'm attractive.
You just found that out today?
Just today.
That's what's up.
I was in the mirror hours, yo. But I'm convinced. So yes, let's get it going.
Let's get it going. Okay, well, we got a couple of people in the chat already, so I want to give a special thanks to my mods stopping in to make sure that they are on Troll Patrol. Shouts to Al Bond in the chat. Shouts, of course, to us, because we're in our own chat. And we will release it as such. Yeah, we in the chat, man. So, yeah, I got to play the disclaimer for them. Get them all ready for what we're about to do, okay? Would you stand by for just a moment, please? Thank you.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without consequence. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
I think we're here. All right. We are ready to purge. So I hope I gave them enough time to get in here. We've been fighting with the algorithm lately, so it hasn't been fun the last week or two. But hey, we still got BS to purge. You should have seen it. I put out a Trump clip, thing went crazy. That's what they want us to always talk about, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, but it gets the.
Yeah, it does get them going, but it's going. I'm cool. So we're going to cover a few other things today, but we got to start out with what we were unable to cover on day before yesterday, because I just thought it was funny. Thought you would like to hear it. But apparently, since, I'm not into the socials like I should be, because I guess I'm old or something like that. But apparently Shaq and Aiden Ross have like what I think is a publicity stunt beef, but it's pretty interesting and kind of funny. I don't know if you've heard about this. You know who Aiden Ross is?
No. Who is Aiden Ross?
You don't know who Aiden Ross is? I don't really know him. I just know he's one of the streamer guys. Like he's a big.
Oh yes.
He's a big streamer guy. Yeah, he's a big streamer.
He's like, isn't he like the top one?
Yeah, he's one of the top ones. So apparently, there's been this ongoing feud with him and Shaq. Now,
for what?
It started. Let me tell you what I found out, because you know me, I do my research. So it started with Shaq like messing with him, telling him to do something so he would go viral. Like he met him somewhere and was like, "Hey, if you smack this thing out my hand," I forgot what he had in his hand. It was like a taco or something. He's like, "If you smack this thing out my hand, we can go viral real quick." Like he kind of introduced the idea to him. So he did that. Of course, it worked, and it started becoming kind of like a thing now, where they literally are acting like they're trying to kill each other, but they're not. They actually are not beefing. But it's pretty funny. I thought you might get a kick out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I just hope it comes to blows.
Well, let me say this. A lot of people have mixed feelings about Aiden Ross as far as his physicality when it comes to Shaq. I think Shaq would fold him up and put him in an AC unit.
But of course.
Yeah. So let me bring this over here to the people so they can see what we're talking about here. It's going to be over here. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. So we need us and the screen. Right now, all I got is the screen. Us and the screen. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, I see. Right now, it's just us and the screen. Or just the screen.
Okay.
I got it. Sorry. Just the screen. All right, so apparently Shaq was at, what is this? UFC. The UFC fight. And you know how the UFC fights are. It gets the people going. A lot of testosterone, energy, fight energy, you know. So people get a little heated. So apparently Aiden Ross saw Shaq. Shaq saw him. And then this ensued.
Then do it, bro. Stand up, do something. Stand up and do something. Just do something, man. So do something about it. Fight me. You're gonna go to sleep, old man. You're unk status now. Oh shit! All right.
Yo,
no, come on, man.
You hit him with the slow now.
All right.
So here's the thing, right? Now, I'm gonna just ask you a quick question, because Shaq is not the smallest dude. He's still 7'3", and he still weighs about, I'd say about 300. Solid.
I'm about to say $3.50.
Right, like 3 something. Aiden Ross is not a big dude. I've seen this guy because I was like, who's this Aiden Ross guy? He's a little guy.
Yes, he is.
So this is why I initially was like, yo, this has to be a troll, because you cannot think. I know Shaq is old, but we saw Mike Tyson was old. He was punching the hell out of people. So, hey.
Right.
There's a grown man strength and there's like a grandpa strength. You know, that grandpa strength where you think they didn't still have it and they show you. You've seen it.
Yeah, but see, this crosses that line. Like, you know, there's men in their 40s that are 6 feet that have grown man strength. You know, like that grandpa strength.
Yes.
Shaq is still Shrek.
He's a huge man. He's a huge.
You ever yell up the stairs and because your kids was doing something like playing a video game or something, they got excited and you just hear boom, 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 boom. You hear this whenever Shaq stands up. Like there's no, hey, stop walking so heavy.
Right. Tell the floor to get right then. Yo. But yeah, Shaq, I believe that Shaq is trolling, but let me just say this. If this is what I think it is, which is a troll, that's awesome. Right. I like Shaq for doing stuff like this, like making it fun. We all know that you could murder this small Caucasian male. So,
but it's literally like Andre the Giant taking on Jake the Snake. It's like, for what?
Right. And that's the thing about it. That's why I think it's all in good fun. You know, they're doing it for the virality. And a lot of people may not know that Shaq is a recognized actor. Been in some movies. And
Shazam.
So he's known, he can play a character. And he decided to do this. Like literally, Aiden Ross was on a stream talking about it, I guess a couple months ago, saying, yeah, Shaq is just like, he just be playing with me and now it's like a thing. Like everybody wants to see it. So when they saw each other at this thing, Shaq did not disappoint. And it looked like he was serious, but he wasn't serious. He wasn't.
You don't think so?
No, he wasn't serious. Shaq's not gonna mess his money up. Shaq got the General. He got Papa John's. He got, man, come on. Shaq not gonna mess his money up for no little Aiden Ross.
What if he did get up? Because I don't think that anyone could handle a body slam from Shaq. Like, what if he body slammed him and broke him in half? Like how would that turn out?
I do not doubt that that's exactly what would happen.
Yes.
And that's the thing about it. Like maybe they take it further. Do a celebrity boxing match. Like, hey, you want to go there? They did the Jake Paul Mike Tyson thing. Let's do a Shaq Aiden Ross thing, right?
I'd like to see a Shaq Mayweather exhibition.
Man, I don't know. That would be really interesting.
Mayweather's the size of one of Shaq's arms.
Right. And Shaq would just be like, oh, like trying to,
but, see, that's the thing, though. People always assume Shaq is just big and slow, but
he's not. You're right.
He's actually a fighter. Like he trains. He can fight. True. That's why he's there.
That is true. That is very true. So don't play with Shaq, people.
Yeah, why would you want to fight? It's known as a housing structure.
Right.
Like don't fight a Shaq.
You want to fight a Shaq? No, you don't fight a Shaq.
You might fight a hut.
You put
not a Shaq. Shaqs tend to be dangerous, rusty,
right, and pretty steadily, pretty strongly put together too. They withstand. So
they house gardening equipment,
right?
Like big ass lawnmowers and shit. Go throw that shit in the shack. Shacks house crackheads. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they out back in the shack. If anybody place of residence as a shack, you already know what it is.
Right. It's about time to have problems.
Like you don't even need an address as long as there's one shack on that street. You just be like, yeah, I live on Spring Street. It's the shack on Spring.
It's the shack. They know exactly.
Stack of mail right in front of that shack. Oh, that's for Sonny.
The Sonny shack over
here. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see where this goes. I just wanted, I like to have a fun story, especially for the daytime shows.
As you should.
And this was funny to me because I wish, just putting it out there. Hey, Shaq, if you want to get on like a troll thing with me and go viral or whatever, we play pranks on each other. I'm cool with that. We got to have some lines drawn. But I'm cool with that. So if you're looking, we'll have to discuss certain lines. I mean, there's certain things.
The bully clause.
Yeah, there's a certain level I'm not going to be able to stand for without grabbing whatever's available to swing at said large man. So, but I'm just saying, Shaq, if this is what you want to do, you want to have banter with the online guys. Hey, we're over here.
Wait a minute. How tall exactly is Shaquille O'Neal?
7'3" or 7'2".
So he's almost a good foot taller than you, huh?
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy.
I wonder how wide his shoulders. You know how they say there's no such thing as a big boned skeleton? Like you're just fat or you're skinny, but it's basically the skeleton. I wonder if he's got a huge skeleton. Or does start down here or something? Right. He just got a lot of meat up.
A whole bunch of meat. Shaq meat.
Like, what if you saw a skeleton and it was the skeleton of a 6-foot man? Like, they just boggled in the MRI room. Like, going on inside said man.
Sure. Right.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. All right.
I got carried away.
We're gonna get off of Shaq's bones. Okay.
Al is right. He do be acting like he could rap. But I will say this. Shaq as an MC is way better than a lot of stuff on the radio. I will give him his flowers.
I would have to go with that. I have to go with that.
And I seen Shaq, you know, I don't know whether y'all know Trizzy Track, but that's my partner from Audio Skulls, but he's a finger drummer in Atlanta. Shaq was finger drumming with Shizzy and with Twizzy, and Shaq is actually nice at finger drumming. And I will find, and it will not be posted in the comments because it won't.
Finger.
Yeah. If you can find it, yo, it's Trizzy Track and Shaquille O'Neal or Shaq finger drumming. It is amazing, yo.
And a shout to Purple Groovy in the chat with an interesting question regarding what do we think Shaq's signature move would be like in like a wrestling joint? Wasn't he in one of them games years ago? One of them somebody wrestling games, WWE wrestling games.
It sounded like it, but I think it might have been Zeus, but it might have been Shaq.
Well, if Shaq
or the refrigerator Perry was dead.
You know what I would have? If Shaq had like a special move, he would get the person all woozy, right, over in the corner. Then somebody would roll a basket up to the side of the ring, right? And he would literally fold them up and dunk them through with the breaking glass coming down on them. That would be awesome. I would watch that.
See, mine wasn't that creative. I just see him grabbing the person's neck with the straight arm and lifting him up, and you just see the and he just throws him into the abyss, like out in the crowd somewhere.
Wow. All right.
Yo, do it again. Yo.
Yo, hit him with the
He's out of here.
He's gone. Another 2 points for the Shaqster. So anyway,
get the pin, but he's not coming back.
We're gonna get off of Shaq unless Shaq wants to, like Shaq. We can battle. I'll battle Shaq. I would rap battle Shaq. That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I'm not saying that I would win the battle. I'm just saying it'd be a fun battle.
They call it the Hazy Shaq.
So let me bring in my next
Shaq and Aiden
story over here. I got to try to get this. I got a shot that's not working right, so I'm trying to do it, bro. Hold up. I got to get this shot right first. All right, so we're gonna go. All right, so we got on Shaq. We got
Monday. Shaq takes on Haze. The real question is why.
Yo, you stupid, man.
Haze has 5,000 followers.
Yeah.
0.million.
I would definitely win in that.
He gonna get his ass to boost following.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there's some lines that we got to cover and we got to talk about. But
few things that fought Mike Tyson recently. What's his name? The Paul boy. Yeah, it would be the same rules as that. Now look, you can't punch me at all.
At all. All right. Let's start
kicks. There. Yeah, let's start there. The only thing allowed. Really piercing looks. Like, menacing, if you will. But there's a limit. Straight up.
Like I said, there's some lines. So I wanted to get you into this other piece here as well, because there's been a new internet trend of women showing off their cooking skills, because I believe that there's some turn towards traditionalism and women cooking and stuff like that. And,
I'm all for it.
Okay, well, I wanted to show you this wonderful lady cooking for her husband after his 15-hour shift. And everybody's talking about it. It's a big conversation on the internet. So I just wanted to make sure you could see it here. So hold on a second. Right. That. Then we gotta do this. All right, so can you see a young, blonde-haired Caucasian woman?
She got this the Cindy Lou Who haircut.
She got something going on. It's what they normally call a Karen icing, but you know, I'm not 100% sure that she's a Karen, but she looks like she's trying to put something together. So let's see what she's doing.
She looked like she ran back up the mountain and hung out with the Grinch a couple nights. Came back down. Hey, get the fuck out of here!
All right, let's play her clip and let's see what she got going on. Hold on. You know, one thing I don't like about X is I can't like put stuff in like a middle size. It either is little or it's big. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I gotta mute that. Gotta mute that a little bit. Yeah, the music will get me on that one. So,
what is she doing?
She is putting is that pita bread?
It looked like a frozen pizza.
Oh, that is a frozen pizza. Okay.
This is different.
Now I see why this is a conversation. Is that salt?
Enough.
No, that's salt.
Oh my God. Oh, she's trying to unalive her now.
That's what I was thinking. Was she must be trying to kill this guy. Now
she doesn't have the same passion she had when they first met.
But she's getting. Hey, he wanted something cooked. She's getting it cooked. Oh, it's golden brown. That's pizza though.
With just 1 cup of salt.
So here's the thing, man. Oh, that last part just made me feel a certain type of way. But here's my thing.
Look at the cheese in the pan. Yeah, that slice. He lost all rights to that slice.
Yo,
dang.
Here's what the cheese is still in the pan. I didn't even.
She's got a cute face too. Like, jeez, man.
See, and that's where the question and the conversation came from, was that would people accept this differently if the girl wasn't mildly attractive? Like, some dudes would be like, oh, baby, you cooked me something. They might not eat the shit, but they would just be, so appreciative that something would be cooked. So that was the angle of some gentlemen. They said, well, look, I just would like somebody to try to cook something. And then other people were like what we said, which is she's trying to kill this person. So.
Well, I guess my real question is how if the roles were reversed. And the second question that I would have is, did you happen to notice that stove?
Yo, I was about to say, I don't know if this video situation is real, but that ring around that stove is real.
That's real.
That's really real. And
it's reminiscent of household. We just need something to eat, period, so we can ingest all of these drogas that we plan to when he gets home.
Yeah.
Or she's the victim of some sort of abuse, and this is her way of acting. Like, oh, you want me to cook? Okay, no problem. Maybe that's what this is.
Shouts to Gray 59 in the chat. I hear you. Gray 59 said, I'd be happy that my woman made an effort, which is what I was saying. That was one half of the argument was, at least she made an effort. So what that's saying to me is there's not enough people making an effort. This is acceptable.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, that's
because
the problem.
See, when you said that there was a trend of females cooking, I thought, well, hey, that's great because I cook. That's what I do. Very rarely does my woman come home to feel not there, so to speak. But I don't just cook. Like, I've been chefing for a while. Like, so when she does, I appreciate it, but she actually goes in. It's not like, okay, it's my turn, so here goes the Sammy. Like, she actually goes in.
Right.
But, I thought that the trend was going to be trending towards better, more supportive relationships. But if that's what the trend is, then we're doomed.
We are doomed. But
the food's already poisoned. You adding a cup of salt,
right? Well,
grease frying the pizza.
Yeah. Well, the conversation is actually more around kind of like what Grade 59 is saying in the chat about, like, yeah, eventually she'll get the hang of it. At least she's trying. And they were just saying that somebody who didn't look cute like this girl wouldn't even get that. The first time you come by, she says she would let me cook you something. And she cooks that, and she doesn't look like this, to where you're like, you know what, maybe we can work this out. Like,
see, all right, so me and my fiance have a game that we play when we go to Walmart, and it's basically you see a woman and you rate the smell of the cheeks. And it's normally from 1 to 100. 1 to being the best, right? Any woman who keeps a stove like that.
Smell of the cheeks?
The smell of the cheeks.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure that everybody
think about it, because people talk, because we're in the store and people talk about eating groceries, right?
Right.
That seems to be a trending topic now. So, any woman with a stove like that, aim at 30. You peel those cheeks back and it smells like she just ran 2 miles. I don't care how cute she is. If your stove looks like that, I imagine the feet, the front, and the rear end needs some work. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. I don't care how cute you are.
Well, we know she doesn't clean stoves well.
Yeah, so what would make me, how many, have you ever been, like, because, like, we've always tried to date, like, high standard, women, right?
Right.
Well, to our standard, based off 1 to 10, it's always been in the realm of 8 and 10, right?
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
Okay. So, how 8 to 10 women have you ever walked into their domicile and seen a stove like that?
That is true.
Never.
The ones that did have that were bad news for me.
Bad news. Like
bad news.
The kind when you look at the bottom of the toilet, those 2 little white things that they just hold, that are sitting on top of the screw.
Yeah.
If that thing is funky, them little rings right there, you're dealing with a bad news broad, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, these are the red flags they don't see. These are the ones we're really looking for.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, Al said rate the smell of the cheeks. It's true, Al.
I mean, I see what you're saying there. I see what
sometimes,
you're saying.
Hey, that's a 150 easily. And she's right. She's right.
Well, we'll give this lady some credit for at least trying to cook for her man. So
I'm giving her a 45 because of the salt, bro. She's not even afraid of murder.
And putting it on the internet as if she's flexing. Like, look what I can do. Oh,
who wants some deep fried salted pizza that used to have a cheese?
Right.
Slice? Yeah, on Satan's stove. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's I'm gonna move into the next story here, because this one is not as funny. This is a what would you do in this situation kind of clip regarding a young lady, because there's been this trend of parenting issues and people trying to, I believe families messed up. We got these ladies cooking with these dirty ass stoves. That's a fire hazard, by the way. With all that oil and stuff around one of the joints with the coils, that can set the whole house on fire. But whatever.
But I'll give her an E for effort, because the meth is down yet. So
right.
That's definitely a dual purpose stove. They cooking dope.
He said they are definitely cooking up drugs. So here's the clip that is going viral right now regarding a dad and his daughter. I don't know if this is an act. Some of it might be, but it's an interesting clip. And if it is an act, they're doing pretty well. Get them a contract is all I'm saying. So
remember, you got mute on, I think.
I got mute on.
In case this one has, you muted the last clip, so I just make sure that you had your volume up.
Oh, no, I'm good, baby. I'm good, baby.
Baby.
Yeah, baby. All right, so dad is about to, I'm going to just let you watch it. I'm going to just let y'all see it, and then y'all can say what y'all want to say. This joint's going viral right now, so here we go.
Oh.
That's not loud. Not loud at all. Well, I want to go up. There we go.
For the whole summer, kid. Grounded. You don't do that. You want me to spit
All right, I'm
in
going to bring
your
it back
face?
because the volume
No.
is messed up. Hold up.
other like that.
Get
Y'all
up, I got it. I got it. You
I
didn't do
got
nothing.
it.
She spit in my face, not
You
yours.
should not be dealing with a
Pussy.
kid on the anger.
She just spit in my face, though,
You
right?
need to calm down.
You can't tell me what to do. She spit in my face, not
When
yours.
you're done calming
Grab
down.
your son.
Hold on. Because we're screaming everywhere.
Grab your son, though.
I'm going to grab it.
She spit in my face, not yours.
I understand, but...
That's a disrespect. Nobody should. She spit in my face?
I understand, but you need to calm down before you hit her.
You spit in my face?
You need to down.
All right, so you get the point. It may be staged. I don't appreciate.
Oh, it's staged because of the clips, like how it focuses. They got 2 camera angles.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about this zoom right on the other side of the room. I only know that because I make videos.
Right. And they got the little.
And we
girl
didn't
shot.
see him belt her.
He did not actually belt her. I will say that. I did not. The caption said he belted her, but he didn't actually do that.
No.
So the question is, should he have beat her little ass?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people are saying no because he was.
We need
angry.
to bring back the smite.
Well, let me say this. Here's what I believe about ass whoopings. They're best delivered fresh. Okay. Like at the time of offense.
So you exactly what you have done.
Right. So you know that
And when it
last
happened.
thing that you did, that last thing is why this is happening. If I wait 3 or 4 hours, you might stack up a few other things. And that could make the whole situation even worse. So we gotta allow this to happen immediately. Now I'm just saying, I think if that's his daughter, he loves his daughter. But an ass whooping would be understandable in this situation. And a lot of people see because they got so traumatized when they was kids with their parents beating the shit out of them. Every time they think of somebody tapping a kid with anything, they lose their minds, and it's child abuse. Some stuff is really discipline. This little girl just spit in her father's face. She's lucky he didn't leg sweep and kick her off the bed.
Those that caught ass whippings went on to become Supreme Court justices, lawyers, and doctors. These kids that don't, you become murderers, drug dealers. Like, I don't want to shit on professions, but let's just say if you're still handling fast food at 30, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe he should have gotten her out of the way and handled the business.
Yo, Al Bond in the chat is literally, you need to plead the fifth, bro. He is in there talking about, yeah, my daughter did that to me one time. She don't remember the incident, but she knows not to do it no more. Okay.
Bro,
all right.
I'm not arguing with him.
No, I'm not arguing
because now see, there are adults that have an issue. Now, what I agree with him on, if you discipline, like, and I'd say I kind of disagree with you. If you discipline while you're upset, we as humans have the tendency to black out. And not all of us have control.
That's the problem.
So I do agree with him walking away and saying, nope, this does require a belt. But if he would have reacted right there, then while he was holding that, she might have caught knuckles to the face. She might have caught all of that. So it was better that he walked away. And I will say that, like, I would walk away before disciplining my children so I can think.
He walked away. He walked away to get the belt.
Because people go too far. Now, where I will agree with Al as well, humans to me are like animals. If you get animals while they're puppies, you normally don't have issues when they're adults.
Very true.
So, yeah, I mean, but he said if the child was 3 and they got a spanking or something like that, I'm not going in on my child like I would on a Haze.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know this is a 3-year-old child, but again, I've walked away and thought about it, calmed down and said, well, this is necessary discipline, but angry anymore so I can weigh my options. Yeah, I don't have to end up locked up.
Yeah, I hear
Because
you.
if you spit in my face, I'm going to jail. I don't give a fuck whose child you are. Straight up.
Somebody is going to jail. Yeah, I feel you.
Somebody's going to jail, and it's probably going to be me.
And then, you know, when they have this conversation, they talk about where did the child learn the disrespect of spitting in someone's face?
School and the phone, period.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't never see videos like this of homeschool children, ever.
We blame the public school system for
Yeah.
kids spitting in their father's faces.
Hell yeah, because their kids is like, bro, no. I had a couple of white friends down the street, 2 kids, Chris and Brian. They were my favorite people. They would wild out on their parents. And I wouldn't wild out on mine, but there was a few times where I escalated a little bit normally would. And I did this one time, and then the following Friday, because it happened on a Friday, and but the following Friday, I was with Chris and Brian, and they asked me, did I want to have a sleepover? I said, of course. So because we could go down to the creek and crayfish and all type of shit. It was time to put our pee, and Brian and Chris' mom asked me to, go in there and put my jammies on. I'm putting them on. Brian is in there, and he's putting his on. He looks at my back, and he's like, well, what happened to your back? I was like, I don't know. What the fuck is you? Like, I got so many spankings, I was used to it. I looked in the mirror, and I looked like on my back. I was like, oh, I fell down the stairs. But I realized I can't escalate with my black parents like these white kids could with their white parents. I couldn't do that.
True.
So people.
Well, the thing that I must be honest about is more often than not, you don't want to escalate with these Caucasian parents because they will put you in a box in the woods.
Some of them will.
Yeah. Some
but
of them
I think
will
you know
drive
that
you into a river in the back of the car.
I think you know that in advance.
So how does it happen then?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why, because it's already like so. For example, I've been watching stuff on Netflix all the time by these documentaries and stuff. Here's a red flag, little white children. If you do something wrong and you end up in a shower and your mother is spraying your back with 100% cold water for 15 minutes at a time, that's the beginning.
What?
If that water turns into hot water, you have a parent that will trunk you and put you in a river. Be careful, white children.
Thank you for
Be very careful.
Jesus. So how old do you have to be before it becomes creepy if your parents are washing you down?
You mean washing you? You mean like the example of that? That's not washing. I'm talking about they're fully clothed in the shower, just under cold water, like torture, like Chinese water torture. Like, have you ever as a grown man, have you ever gotten in a cold shower? Even then, they tell you because actually cold showers are good for you, but you see you have to go for like 30 seconds the first time, and you have to ease your way to like 5 minutes because it's actually good for your system. But as a 4 or 5 year old child thrown as hard as they can to the bathtub and then spraying you with cold water everywhere you go and say you can't get away from it. Now it's been 15 minutes of some woman yelling and screaming. But then one day the water gets hot. That's when it gets worse. You have a red flag parent. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, this was an interesting story because it brought up the question of discipline, lack thereof, and certain methods that are effective. I think that we kind of covered that, and I like that.
Hold on. Al said, they leave you in a room for 20 years.
And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't. It's not just a white-black thing. It really has to do
and gray,
with,
Not all white families are like that. But Chris and Brian's mom were saints.
Right. Yeah, there's certain families that you don't want to do that with because, like we said, they will put you in a box in the back of the car and drive you into a river and act like somebody stole the car. And the person that stole the car was black.
Or they will bury you in the basement and then bury the rest of the family so they don't get caught.
Right.
These things have happened.
These things have happened far too often.
And then we'll go as far as to pave the like just in case somebody comes looking.
Yeah, they're very dedicated to their scenes, their crime scenes. Very dedicated. And we're going to get into a crime scene. Matter of fact, maybe we'll jump into that next. We're going to jump into that next. Hold on 1 second here, because I know this one's up somewhere.
Babies, man.
Here we go. This is this is just a okay. This is just.
You ever seen one of them videos with a guy has like one of them cat and nine tails or something, like a leather thing? This is one of those crazy fathers who's in the bed. He's in the bedroom on his knees, beating his back like. for something. Like, if your father is in the bedroom atoning for something right now, skate, bro. Life is better on the outside.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, I wanted to bring y'all this other story here as soon as this ad cuts off. Regarding, you know who Josh Shapiro is?
Yes.
All right, so apparently some dude broke in his house and he set his house on fire.
This that Pennsylvania governor?
Yeah. So this guy, I don't know if you can see this gentleman. He looks very astute, high class.
Guys that atones.
Yeah, that's the guy that did it. I'm trying to let the thing play here. Let's see if the ad, there we go.
Accused of setting fire to the Pennsylvania governor's mansion over the weekend will remain in jail. A judge deemed Cody Balmer a danger to the community and denied him bail during a brief hearing this evening. Monday night, I'm Shari Williams. Rick has the night off. The big story on Action News tonight is the firebombing of Governor Josh Shapiro's home in Harrisburg. It happened while he and his family were asleep upstairs. These are the scorched remnants of the mansion's piano and dining room after 2 homemade Molotov cocktails were reportedly used Sunday morning. Tonight, we are learning more about the 38-year-old suspect. Balmer is
All right, now, I don't know.
Did you hear Shapiro's response?
He's unemployed.
I have not heard his response, but I'll have to check it out.
He said we were in celebrating a Jewish holiday. I forget what it was.
No, it was Palm Sunday, man.
But what he was saying is they were praying, and he said, and nobody will get in the way of our prayers, and even after this has happened to our home. But my thing was, it even come about because this guy that they have locked up was saying that he was pissed off because the state has now taken his property. So his whole thing was, if you're gonna take mine, I'm gonna take yours. It had nothing to do with him being
so it didn't have it wasn't religious. It was just
But when he came out, but the governor came out and tried to make it about religion, but it was not about religion at all.
Oh, well, see, I didn't even think about the religion thing myself, but I don't know, man. I just think it's a little crazy that you wake up on a Sunday and say, let me go bomb the governor's mansion. Like, it just seems like an idea that should be struck down immediately.
Well, this is what we talked about when we first started the purge. The point that I was trying to illustrate is that people in power have this amazingly safe sense. Like, you really think just because you're in power that you're safe all the time. They showed this with Nancy Pelosi and a couple other people. Some of these people are getting crazy and
they
showing these people in power, you too can be touched.
Well, they are definitely touching. Well, I'm gonna let them finish this little story about this guy, but he doesn't look like he has it all together. Just in a general look, he looks a little crazy. I don't know if that's...
Well, how would you look if somebody took your house?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I would feel like maybe he looks crazy, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Yo. Look at this guy.
He definitely looks like Gargamel.
And when Balmer was arrested, authorities say he told police he had hatred toward Governor Shapiro. Action News reporter Caroline Goggin live for us now in the Satellite Center with more on today's developments and a lot to unpack here, Caroline.
Shari, a lot to unpack here tonight as we continue to learn more about that suspect, Cody Balmer. According to ABC News, he was dealing with financial issues, and they say he was also dealing with allegations that he assaulted his estranged wife and children. In fact, he was due in court this Wednesday to face charges stemming from those domestic assault allegations.
Until now.
Cody Balmer remained silent as he was brought into a Dauphin County courtroom this evening. The 38-year-old is facing several charges, including attempted murder, arson, and domestic terrorism. He is accused of breaking into the governor's mansion and firebombing the residence as Governor Shapiro and his family slept inside.
This was a personal attack on the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Harrisburg's fire chief.
Yo, did you see dude's mustache though? Hold up.
This is a personal attack.
It's a personal
and
attack.
firebombing the residence.
Of course
as
it was
Governor
personal,
Shapiro
genius.
and his family slept inside.
This was a personal attack on the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Harrisburg's fire chief says they were called to the fire just after 2 a.m. Sunday.
Yo, why does the governor's residence have a big old sign on it?
Yeah, governor's residence.
I wonder where the governor lives. Huh.
Yeah. That dude looked like the Quaker Oats man. Yeah.
The governor and his family were safely evacuated as fire crews forced entry into the home.
Don't they have security? Like the governors, aren't they supposed to have security and stuff on the grounds?
I mean, it's the governor, not necessarily the president.
True. Okay.
They were met by fire in the dining room, where the governor's family and friends held a Passover Seder just hours earlier.
When we look at the fire grew fairly quickly because it was accelerated by those Molotov cocktails that were used in the firebombing.
State police say Balmer, who turned himself in, admitted to tossing Molotov cocktails into the residence. According to an affidavit, he told investigators he hated the governor, saying if he encountered him in the home, he would have beaten him with his hammer.
He brought all the tools he needed to carry this out. We are proceeding under the basis that this was an intentional, this was an attempt to kill.
Sources say Balmer had previously expressed disdain for Democrats and President Trump on social media. He is described.
Hold up, Democrats and President Trump?
Mm-hmm.
So he just don't like nobody.
The governor was a Democrat, or is a Democrat.
Right.
Yep.
So he just don't like nobody. He just don't like the government in general. So it doesn't matter what party. Okay. Well, at least he's fair.
As an auto mechanic in the Harrisburg area. According to ABC News, Balmer served 8 years as an Army reserve.
First of all, why does he...
as an Army what?
He was, let's find out. Hold on. He's an Army what?
Reservist, repairing construction equipment, but he was never
He's
deployed.
An Army reservist.
Okay.
Now, Balmer told the judge
Why did they throw that in there? But
he was in the Army, but he didn't.
You know why they
deploy.
said that he didn't deploy? Because they're trying to get him from not using PTSD. He can't use that as an excuse.
Right. Well,
but he was in the Army for 8 years, but he was never deployed.
That's crazy.
I mean, with any type
did he
of
go to
mental
annual
illness,
training? Because that's
sources tell ABC
PTSD
News
every
that
goddamn year.
So let me let this lady, Caroline, her last name is Goggin.
I want to go back to the black woman's yams. I got to be honest, man. She was giving.
From which black woman?
The one that started this. Pass the story back. You're going to see some yams on the side.
Okay.
Investigators are still
we'll
looking into that.
Back.
Balmer was denied bail in court today. He is due back in court for another hearing next Wednesday, April 23rd. Live tonight in the SAT Center, I'm Caroline Goggin, Channel 6 Action News. Shari.
Yeah, a story we will be on all week, whatever comes out of it. Okay, Caroline, thank you.
Again.
Action News found a visitor.
Okay.
She had some sweet yams.
So at this point, they're bringing it up that there's a lot more domestic terrorism going on with, it doesn't really seem to matter whose party it is. One week you got the Tesla dealerships blowing up. Now we've got the governor's mansion being set on fire. And
Spanish kids shitting on niggas with dreads.
Right. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. And, you know, to compound problems, there's also been a talk about this thing called the SAVE Act. Have you heard about the SAVE Act at all?
I have.
Now, there is some debate on whether or not this SAVE Act is going to impact, I guess, women. They said it was going to be minorities, but it doesn't really make sense in that regard. But I do understand the women part. And this lady, she comes out here and I don't know if you can see this woman.
She looks like Jennifer. What's her name? The one that sings with Brandy. Jennifer something. The one that's like, I don't have time. You know, that plays the piano with her.
Yeah, that lady. I cannot remember her name right now.
Jennifer something. She's on Blackish.
Yeah, she is a very highly sought after actress. Well, this lady is not that. This is. I forgot what her name is. I think her name is Ayana or something like that. But I'm going to let her say her little spiel here so people can hear it. And then we're going to discuss it, okay? Then we're going to get to the other thing with the chicks flying into space. And I think that's about it.
And a Republican majority, which is another day of anti-blackness on steroids. Today, the House will vote on the SAVE Act. This is a bill introduced by Congressman Chip Roy, and allegedly is to safeguard Americans' voting eligibility. It is a voter suppression bill. It's no different than the jelly bean test or the poll taxes of the past. An effort to make America Jim Crow again. This is, once again, a solution in search of a problem. It is already illegal for non-U.S. citizens to participate in our elections. So the SAVE Act isn't saving nothing. It's certainly not saving everyday people time. It's making it harder and less convenient for you to vote, putting a burden on people because you won't be able to vote with a real ID or with a state ID. You will have to provide various forms of documentation to prove that you are a U.S. citizen. For example, a passport is one of the things that you might need to provide. Well, 169 million Americans don't own a passport, so they would have to purchase one. That's $130. Your birth certificate. Well, what about married women? 69 million women in this country are married and have changed their name, and their last name does not match their birth certificate. What about our military voters? Your military ID will no longer be a sufficient form of documentation to prove that you are a U.S. citizen. This is going to have a disparate burden on rural voters, on military voters, on married women, on low-income people, on black and brown folks. This is just another attempt at voter suppression to silence the voices of the electorate, to take away your voice. I will be voting.
Okay, she'll be voting no. Now that's the tip.
They
part
passed
of it.
that bill.
They did pass that bill, and that's why I wanted to have the discussion, because in some of the stuff that she was saying, I'm not 100% sure if that was true. And there was a follow-up interview that I guess happened just after, not necessarily with her, but I believe it was with one of the folks down there. But here's the real question, right? Do we want people who cannot prove citizenship to vote in federal elections? That's the question initially, right?
The answer is we probably don't.
Right. And that's where the problem is. So they put this thing in place because they didn't want people who weren't citizens to vote. And I think that they might have forgotten a few pieces of it, and it sort of turned into something that they can make a lot of talking points on because they didn't cover married people, and you know what I'm saying? They just
that's the problem with everything at once. Like just recently, their decision was to fire a whole bunch of people from the IRS, and then they realized, hey, wait a minute, people owe college money.
Right.
Don't fire them yet.
Yeah, not yet.
And that's what's happening. Everything seems like a great idea right now. Do it now. And then you realize you pissed off every woman in the goddamn country. Like,
Right.
bro, women are heated right now, bro.
Well, let's help them not be as heated, okay? Because
So the House passed a bill that you must show valid ID to vote, something that 80% of Americans support. Only 4 Democrats in the House voted for that bill. All Republicans voted for it just earlier today. On that and other topics, let's bring in Democratic Senator Elissa Slotkin of Michigan. She voted against that bill when she was in the House. She is a former CIA analyst. She served in Iraq, and this is her first time joining us as a senator since she won her election back in November, big election that she won in Michigan. Senator, good to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's start there. Would you vote in favor of that bill that voters have to show ID in order to vote at the federal level?
Yeah, no, I didn't vote on it in the House, and if it comes to the Senate, I won't vote on it for the simple reason that it requires, again, a specific list of ID that you can use at the voting booth. Your driver's license is not good enough. You either have to use your birth certificate or your passport. Well, 60% of Michiganders don't have a passport. And for 80% of women in this country who are married, they've changed their name from their birth certificate. So it makes it harder to have women vote, makes it harder if you don't have a passport. I'm all for keeping non-citizens from voting in our elections.
Why not just amend the bill to make sure that you can use your license and then, vote, say you'll vote. Would you vote yes for that?
For sure, if there was a way to make it, I mean,
Doesn't seem like
if
it should be that complicated to show your license
It's not.
to vote.
We tried. We tried. When we voted on it in the House, we said, hey, man, just change it, amend it. We're willing to work with you. We don't want non-citizens voting, and there's penalties against that,
And that's
including
because
never
some states
becoming a
allow
citizen.
people who are here not legally to have a driver's license, so they want some form of backup. But do you believe that do you have a problem with people having to show ID to prove that they're valid American citizens to vote in this country?
No, and we already have that. I mean, in the state of Michigan, you have to be a citizen just to be able to vote and get on the voter rolls, period. And we had 5.5 million people vote in our last election. So, I have no problem. No one wants a non-citizen voting. It happens in very, very rare instances. But then just make the bill workable. But if 80% of women who are married change their names, their birth certificate's just not going to match. It just doesn't make sense.
It's not that hard to. I mean, I changed stuff when I got married. It's not that hard to do that. But anyway, I want to ask you about the.
All right, I'm gonna pause it here.
Hold on, look how she tried to shuffle it off. It's not that hard to do. I mean, I just changed.
Yo, then she's being a little condescending in this
being
interview.
a dick.
A little bit. She's
What I
definitely.
will say is this: it is interesting, and I noticed this over the past 2 or 3 weeks. Do you see the trend that Fox News is taking? They're now starting to cover things that lean more to a democratic ideology. Have you noticed?
Well, they're covering
this type of
it.
story wouldn't even be on there no more.
Right, but I don't.
Or before, rather.
Well, I would say yes, but here's the thing: the lady who's the interviewer doesn't really think she likes this other lady's perspective. That's why she's being real condescending about it. So she's still like, it doesn't seem that complicated. Like, what is the big, like, that's where she's coming from. So she's still
But what I'm saying is this is still dancing on the minefield because just watching how she didn't really spend much time on it. She was like, yeah, well, I got my name changed. It wasn't that hard to suffer. But imagine all of the people watching this who were like, what the fuck? She might be an idiot. Why is she even covering this?
Right. Well, this is the thing. If that's the case, that's why I wanted to play the clip. There's this thing that they said that's called a real ID. You know what real ID is?
Yeah, I have to get mine on May 5th.
Now,
because they won't at the airport, you can't use your driver's license to get on a flight. Well, soon you won't be able to.
That is not 100% untrue.
They let me recently need to get this changed to a real ID.
Yeah, they'll probably
so
tell
I
you.
I had to schedule to get a real ID because my driver's license. I mean, I guess that's just something that they can take money from you if you go too fast.
Well, let me give you another perspective. For me, I had to renew my license a couple years ago. I would say like 3 years ago. They put this little gold star on there to indicate it was a real ID. So technically I have one and didn't even know it.
Oh,
so
I need to look at mine then.
And that was what I got. So I'm looking at it like, well, I'm already good. I didn't even know that I was good. That means it was such a simple process that to some degree it's even transparent to a lot of people. So I don't really think that whatever they're doing is going to be because I'm gonna be real. I don't have a clean record, but they do make sure I can vote now. And I got a real ID that I didn't ask for. And I definitely ain't no immigrant, so they're not looking out for me in that regard. So it's kind of like they seem to be making it like it's going to be a big deal. But my wife has a real ID already, too. She didn't know she had one. It's just they did it and didn't tell anybody because they said we're going to need this later. So everybody who renewed their license in the last 3 or 4 years ended up with one, at least in the state
this
that I
is
live
the
in.
issue. You can't do this online. Did you know that?
Right.
Now, when's the last time you've gone to the DMV?
I go from time to time,
Have you ever seen the Million Man March?
Yes.
That's what the damn waiting room looks like.
Well, it all depends on where you go and what time. I'm gonna be real.
Everybody fucking says that.
Yeah, well, that's the truth.
There's people outside the line at outside the damn place in line at 7 in the morning.
That is also true. I'm one
and
of
it's
those
raining.
people. Yep, I'm one of those.
And it's
folks.
cold.
But you gotta give it to them for the states that are doing the little gold star real ID thing. I don't know how many states are doing that, But they've been trying to get this out of the way for people for a couple years now. We just didn't know about it. We weren't even thinking about it. So the signs are in the airport, but a lot of us didn't even know we had a real ID already. I know I didn't know. I went to check it out to try to get it done.
That's what they want.
Yeah. So,
but see, what this does, for anybody watching it, this does speak to the power of voting. If votes did not count, they wouldn't be going to all of these lengths to make sure.
So I'm going to let them finish their little interview, but I just wanted to put in the point of this lady saying it's not that complicated. I have to sort of agree because I got my stuff and it was an accident and they didn't even say nothing. They just did it.
Before you go on, I need to make a professional statement. So the woman, she's a senator, right?
She's one of them people down there. She works in D.C. and she votes on stuff. I'm not sure which. I think she said she's in the House or the Senate. Yeah,
with
you
the,
said she's in the Senate.
With the haircut and the facial shape, doesn't she remind you of one of them thick ass girls that played field hockey?
Yeah,
yeah, she does.
She was an attacker or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
she's one of the attackers.
She's probably like what we were talking. A 2 or a 3. Just a little bit like
cheek scent. Cheek scent.
I can work with it.
Cheek scent. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna let them finish their.
Okay. Please continue.
Yeah, I'll let them finish their serious interview since we. Yeah.
Bill that you put forward, which is to prevent Chinese vehicles from entering the United States.
All right. So this lady said no on the citizenship, but she's voting to prevent Chinese vehicles from coming into the United States. So I think they're going to cover this real quick, and then we're going to be done with these chicks.
Now, obviously, a lot of cars with American names on them, Buick, Lincoln, a lot of those cars are made in China, and then they come over here and have an American label on them. How would this work?
Yeah. So the most important thing is that the Chinese vehicles that are out there, there's a big company called BYD. They are, most of the time made in China. But what's really important is who is getting the data that those cars are collecting. 3D mapping, LiDAR, geolocation of specific people, all that data, rafts of data is going back to Beijing for them to use as they see fit. That's what we're trying to ban, not just the vehicle itself, but the parts that control the data and send it back to another country. Again, as long as the data is controlled by Americans, on Americans, that's a different conversation, right? That's what our American car companies do. They have very sophisticated cars that we make in Detroit that collect data as well. But the control of the data is here, not going back to China.
I know BYD is a huge company, but I've never seen one of their cars on the road here. I think we have very, very few of them here. But certainly you're concerned about, it's like a TikTok concern of grabbing data in just another way from these cars if they were to be here. But what would you tell Lincoln and Buick, for example? You want them to not have any of their components come from China. You'd want to lock that down.
I say if you have components that are allowing the Chinese government access to American and America data, we have a problem. Yes, we have a problem. And I would just say BYD is not on our roads now. That's why we're doing this bill. But they're trying to buy car factories in Mexico, and they've become the fastest growing car in Europe because they are like a $10,000 looking Tesla. They're
a $10,000 looking Tesla. Uh-oh.
She's going against Trump right now.
Yeah.
That's why she's here. She's saying, you're trying to bring these factories back to America, but not only are they taking our data, but they'll be here so they can just transmit whatever they want back to China.
Right. I didn't even think about that. I've never seen a BYD. What have you seen a BYD car? You ever seen one?
I don't know. It just sounds crazy.
It does sound a little crazy to me. I don't like that acronym. It's just too many things I can put in there that deserve a pause. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get ready to say
it. So at this point, we've got two different debates going on. One is against Chinese vehicles coming into the United States, or Chinese parts, from what this lady's saying. It's not even the vehicles. Right. Apparently, some of the electrical components and the smart stuff that cars do, I guess the GPS and all that stuff.
Sending all the information back to Beijing.
Right, to tell them that I went to Dollar General today.
I mean, this is the type of shit. This is why I feel bad for the president, because it sounds like he has good intentions. Think about everything he's trying to do. He seems like he has good intentions, but nobody in his team is saying, close up shop.
Right.
We're sending all of our shit back to them. like when he went to put the tariff on all those electronics and had to back it up. Somebody working said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
So I'm trying to upgrade my phone, bro. What are you doing?
Well, see, and see, again, this is the problem with becoming a president. When you have an agenda as president, you have to understand that your agenda is probably going to take like 10 to 20 years to really solidify. So no one will ever know how well it worked out for the good side of it until another president takes over and takes all of the credit for it if you did something good.
Right. Huh. Well, I'm just going to say, you know, we do need to make sure we have good trade agreements. I always thought that Lincoln and those American-made companies, I believe that if you want to put the stamp American-made on your vehicle, you should have your stuff made here. I'm just being real. We want to call it American muscle, Chinese parts. Is that what we're talking about?
Yo, I just thought about it. BYD, that's the company that's making Teslas, basically, not Tesla.
Right.
That get 1,600 miles to the tank, so to speak, or to the charge.
Really?
So they're basically trying to eliminate the Tesla, because the Tesla, I think you get like 220.
So the Tesla's basically
sit down and charge for 30 minutes to an hour.
Tesla's competition.
Elon should have never taken this job. He should have never taken this job. Because now everything he does is under such high scrutiny, bro.
Here we go. All right, so this is BYD Han. This is Han. It's not too bad looking. It's a nice looking vehicle. Oh, damn, that building is nice.
Nice factory.
Yeah, they doing something over there at BYD.
At less the cost.
Jeez. I mean, even their website
That's why they kicking Elon off of that goddamn Tesla board.
They only have one car, though, just in different colors. This is what they have.
What's that? Remember that Toyota Scion? It was like they only had one or two of them things sold. But this one will give the regular consumer the ability to have an electric car.
That black one, all right, though. The black one, all right.
And because it's so many miles, I mean, look, that looks comfortable.
All right, Tesla might have so Tesla might have some competition coming. So they're trying to keep Tesla's competition out of the U.S. That's interesting.
I wonder what kind of batteries these cars use. I wonder if they're lithium.
No, I don't know, but that is crazy. I had never heard of BYD before. So this lady basically just gave them advertisement and promotion. By even
full circle to what I was talking about earlier with the Fox's choice of the stories that they're covering.
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Doing over there, Fox?
What you doing over? Where's your loyalties, man?
Well, everybody knows anybody that's up top, their loyalty is in cash. But this is what people need to remember. Democrats got plenty of money too.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And Elon and them tried to do, what was it, in Wisconsin? Where they were throwing all of that money over there, and they lost. She beat the richest man in the world. It's getting kind of hectic.
So let me skip. I got two more stories to cover, and then we are done for the day. But since we're talking about technology and weird stuff, before I get to the space launch with the Blue Origin ladies, the Katy Perry, the Gayle King launch, I wanted to get into this other quick story.
The Florida Senate passed a bill
regarding the Florida Senate passing a bill to ban chemical dumping in the sky. Now,
they were doing it.
Now
we all know.
We all know. So I'm gonna let the story play real quick, because at first I was like, "What did it? Hold on, this is a conspiracy theory thing." But if you ban it, that means that it was happening. So
it been happening.
Let me run the story though. So guys, chemtrails, it's a thing. Okay, and weather manipulation, apparently.
Ban weather modification projects, which have been called chemtrails by some conspiracy theorists who believe these efforts are for nefarious purposes, undisclosed to the general public. This measure aims to prohibit the release of chemicals or substances into the atmosphere with the intent of altering the climate, and would set up a system where reports of such activities are directed to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for further investigation. Under the bill, individuals or corporations engaged in geoengineering or weather modification could face third-degree felony charges with penalties of up to $100,000 in fines. Aircraft operators or controllers found in violation could be fined up to $5,000 and face up to 5 years in prison. The legislation's sponsor, Republican State Senator Ileana Garcia of Miami, argues current weather modification activities lack regulation at both the state and federal levels, and cited concerns about various geoengineering techniques, including rock weathering, solar radiation modification, and cloud seeding as reasons for legislative action. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says he's in favor of the bill, and his state will not, quote, indulge this nonsense.
And people got a lot of kooky ideas that they can get in and put things in the atmosphere to block the sun and save us from climate change. We're not playing that game in Florida.
The debate over geoengineering has been fueled by conspiracy theories surrounding so-called chemtrails, with some believing these activities are actually the government deliberately spraying harmful chemicals or bioagents into the atmosphere. Although these claims have been debunked by scientists, skepticism regarding weather modification persists, as studies have shown that 60% of online discussions about geoengineering are centered around conspiracies. Legislation similar to Florida's has also been introduced in Alabama, and Tennessee passed a ban on the release of airborne chemicals in early 2024. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has also voiced support for state-level bans on geoengineering.
All right, so like I said, they're banning something that was supposed to be a myth. What the hell are we talking about here? Ron DeSantis said somebody's trying to put stuff in the air to block the sun to keep us from being affected by climate change. That didn't just come off the top of his head. Somebody was trying to do that.
Right.
Somebody was doing that. And these were science projects. The average person doesn't have a plane that they can just fly up into the sky and dump things and start trying to seed the clouds to make it rain and all that kind of stuff. So there you go, folks.
Theorists across TikTok should be fucking offended right now. Like,
right.
Because when someone calls you a conspiracy theorist, it's basically saying, I don't believe shit you say, you got to show me. Like, you can't just have a thought that something seems.
Right.
But because whitehouse.com or something doesn't say this is what they're doing, oh, that's not true. It can't be true.
Well, it's definitely, it's been true to the point that they had to vote on it.
Kennedy is literally saying, y'all need to stop them from doing it because they're doing it.
You know, it's wild to me, though, because like I said, they've been telling me and us for years that this is a myth, and it's just, okay, all right. So, yes, we know y'all been doing it. And as the lady said at the end, there's multiple states that already had to ban this. So this has been going on. So, guys, report the chemtrails. Apparently, you can report them now, and they can get a fine and whatever else they were talking about as far as punishment.
Still don't believe it.
I need to see somebody get arrested for it.
Right.
Yeah. And I need to see the trial, and I need the discovery of evidence. And man, shut up. We've been knowing this shit. We've been knowing this shit.
I mean, think about it like this, bro. I live in North Carolina. Do you know that we're now getting tornadoes?
Right.
Bro.
Weather manipulation.
You remember back in, I think it was like 2013 or 14, when we had like a week-long electric storm that like put everybody's power out on the East Coast for like 2 or 3 days. I remember it was a hot summer, bro. And it was just this crazy electric storm where it just looked like daytime all night. And hopefully somebody in the chat remembers it. But I lived in West Virginia at this time, and it was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
All type of, but it wasn't just West Virginia. It was like the East Coast near that, in that area. All electricity was out for like 2 or 3
really?
Because of that. It was just so ridiculous.
They messing with stuff. They're not telling you they messing with stuff, but they definitely telling us that they're messing with stuff.
They're telling us to stop it.
Right. We're not going to tell you that people are messing with stuff, but we're going to tell people to stop it if they are.
Off. Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. Okay, well.
Oh, Al sent the link. All right, good look, bro.
What link are we looking for? We got a link? Okay. I'm not going to pull it up right now. I'll save it for Thursday. Because now that we're talking about things in the air, I got to get to this trending story that a lot of people apparently didn't know about, which was Katy Perry, Gayle King, and a couple other ladies went on the nicest carnival ride ever in a spaceship that, to me, has a very distinct resemblance to a male schlong. I'm just going to say that. And so we're going to get into it here. Here's them taking off in their schlong. So here is... So
hop on in the dicks.
So here's the thing now. They went up there. This is an all-woman's mission.
Is this the new Challenger?
Well, this is the thing. It's not. This is going to be something bigger. Watch. It's going to be much bigger. It's going to have
step
way
over
more
the balls.
Watch the balls and you step in. The first step is a doozy. But anyway, so Katy Perry and them, and we're going to just kind of let it play while I talk about it, because this was a cinematic thing. Jeff Bezos and his crew decided to put this together with Jeff Bezos' girlfriend, Gayle King, Katy Perry, some Asian lady who I don't know, but she was like smart, and this older lady who I can't remember.
This woman's hair?
Well, no, that's not a woman. That's a child. Let's be nice. But this is a small, young Caucasian woman being inspired by watching this all-women crew go up. So let's get the takeoff here. Now, there's a couple of questions that people have asked, because it looks like they're not in there with like astronaut gear on, you know? And so there's some questions about whether or not this whole thing was sort of staged to a degree. And we're going to see what they say about it. But I want them to take off, and then I'll let you see them drop back down. Here we go. Schlong is at it. Maybe I can play the...
No, you got it.
4, command engine start. 2, 1.
All right. So Katy Perry is taking off like a firework. All right.
Lift off.
Now,
New
up
Shepard
until
has
now,
cleared the tower.
I didn't know that anybody other than Elon was doing the whole rockets catching themselves thing. But apparently this Blue Origin group is doing something similar. So Katy Perry and Gayle King go up in the penile here, and then it pops off the top of it. Now look at all of these people who are watching what I will now call historically the first commercial space flight.
Right.
This is a carnival ride to space. So the top pops off. I'm gonna go through it. There we go. Now it's two things. And now let's get back to this thing landing here. All right, so it comes back down, which I thought was pretty cool because it didn't need the arm. So check this out. Ultimate promo. Bezos is coming for SpaceX. That's what this is all about. So we got the Tesla about to be taken over by BYD. Well, not taken over, but have that competition. And then we got this situation. So then Katy Perry and them, they come back down with the parachutes and stuff, as you can see. And they land.
So hold up, the bottom of it lands on its own.
On its own, like the SpaceX stuff was doing. See, I didn't know they had another thing other than SpaceX that was doing that. But they did, and it was Bezos, and that's why he was sitting in that front row when Trump was getting elected. He was sitting right in that front row.
Blue Origin does everything they can to make this as safe as possible.
All right, so let me get to the end here. So they land.
That's just an indication.
Now, granted, I don't think that they really went to space. Okay, they didn't go all the way up. They went really high. But you know, if you re-enter the damn Earth, this thing is still pearly white. It would have been all burnt up and all that kind of stuff. Plus, they didn't even have on like helmets or nothing. They literally just popped up there. Look at the tip of this thing, though. I'm sorry. It still looks like exactly what it started as. So now they get everybody to come out there. And
did you just say, look at the tip of that thing?
Yeah, I did. So it took like forever. I thought they were going to get to the, here we go.
Oh my God.
So they end up bringing everybody out. That's Jeff Bezos and his girlfriend. And apparently she was the one whose idea.
Oh, she's kind of, I don't know, man. Is she hot or is it kind of a, maybe she might have a switch
plastic.
part?
She's made of plastic, but you know, that's Jeff Bezos' girlfriend. They're apparently getting married. Katy Perry gives us the theatrics. She kisses the ground. You know, that whole thing.
Well, I mean, we all have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Was it flat?
And this lady here, this is the Asian lady who I don't know, but she was apparently like the smartest one on the flight. And so she's there. Now, the thing is, they all went up to space and they came back with perfect makeup.
Yeah.
This lady, she's a black lady. I forgot who she is, but they're all apparently like.
Oh, so one person of each nationality.
Yeah, they mixed it up a little bit. They had a person that's, oh, look at Gayle.
Why did you take a bow? You ain't do nothing.
Oh, she said some Jesus, though. That's cool. They didn't cut that out. They're normally cutting out Jesus these days. And then this older lady in the end. This is the last person. So they definitely have a whole Star Trek outfit thing going here. This is given very Uhura from Star Trek after they took her out the skirt. When they would land on the place and go fight, that's how Uhura would be dressed. Or you know what? Fantastic Four. That's who I'm thinking.
He's definitely got Gylfie qualities, though.
So they sent these women up, and so it's become this very empowering thing for women. There was there was a lot of tears shed. It was really
But I bet you men designed all the equipment.
Yeah. Well, you see, Bezos was right there when they landed.
Yeah. Exactly. They're just on for the ride.
But this is all to promote Blue Origin. That's the logo on the microphone here. Blue Origin is the name of that rocket was the New Glenn. So that must be Glenn after he took a couple of Viagras. That's the New Glenn. And
this was a big stick in the face to freaking Elon.
Yo, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Elon didn't say, yeah, so what, you brought back some astronauts? Dude, we sent Katy Perry to the space. Like, whatever, man. What are you talking about? And she came back with perfect makeup. Your people came back dirty. Like,
some of them came back unalive.
Right. Like, look at Gayle's makeup, bro. Like, they took all that time coming back down. They was taking photos. There's some selfies on the internet. It was a thing. But what I want everybody to pay attention to is it is now a thing to go get on something and shoot up into space and just come back down. So what do you think happened after this was over? The phone is ringing off the hook to Blue Orchid.
Yep.
How much is the trip? How do I book the trip? I want to do it. Gayle King did it, and she ain't no astronaut. You know, Katy Perry went up there. She ain't no astronaut. That means anybody can do this if you got a couple dollars. So Jeff Bezos just introduced commercial spaceflight. That's what just happened. Now, granted, they're doing it all for the women and blah, 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 but you know what I'm talking about. So get ready. Get ready. It's coming.
Get nervous anytime any billionaire comes up with a fangled idea to do something that normal people can't do, i.e. get in a submarine and go down with a Nintendo controller.
Yeah, and expect to come back alive. Now, I done already told y'all how I feel about that. We are designed for the space and the earth. Right. We're not designed to be too far in the water. That's why the pressure will kill us and we can't breathe. And the same thing happens if you go up too high. It's like the universe telling you, stay where you at. You cool? Mm-hmm. Why would we want to do this? I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, when Gayle King comes back with makeup looking like that, taking selfies, this is going to be the new flex. I took the Blue Orchid, New Glen, or whatever, up to the top. I saw the earth. You should have heard the commentary.
There's a reason why they say the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Shouts to Veralto in the chat saying that those ladies flew a sex toy to the stars.
Yes, they did.
And, you know, they could have made the sides even. They didn't have to do that. But every rocket, to a degree, does have a penile look to it.
Leave it to the comment section and some men to make it chauvinistic.
Yeah.
It's the way that it always...
Because you wouldn't have done it without the penis missile.
Well, let's admit it, man. A freaking vagina's not very aerodynamic, man.
Yo, but this is the thing. I love catching history in motion.
Right.
So that I can look back on it 5-10 years from now when everybody's trying to book the trip to do this.
And say, this is why we should have stopped.
We should have stopped. Somebody's not going to make it back is what I'm saying. At some point. If you haven't noticed all the planes and stuff falling out the sky, isn't that supposed to be the safest way to travel? Shit is just dropping out the sky. So no, I think we'll leave that for the millionaires and billionaires to go take their little trip up there. But folks, don't get pulled into this. You're going to have a travel agent saying, how about you take a trip to the stars? And watch what happens.
Fuck Acapulco.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to planet Trinidad. What? It's great. They just got oxygen. Oh, okay.
Yo, our chat is getting a little raucous here. They said apparently when you shoot off a penis, you come back rejuvenated.
This is what I tell people, IMZ.
This is awesome though, is what I'm saying. It was awesome. Katy Perry was crying. It was a whole emotional thing, man. Like even this lady, she was crying. This is the lady I don't know. I have no idea who she was. But she's a scientist.
Who has made this a reality.
And you also have written here, I know that you had this on your laptop, right?
Yes, she wrote a whole speech. Okay.
Zero G indicator, a promise I made to myself that if I were to pause my astronaut dreams and fight for rights, that one day I would return to her.
And it says, never, never give up. Well, those dreams are no longer on hold.
Yo, Bezos is a genius. Bezos
Congratulations.
is a genius.
Enjoy this
moment. Yeah, he is. He only pays himself $200,000 a year.
The guy's a freaking genius, yo.
The government's probably paying him taxes just for existing.
Bezos is a genius. He brings this woman. This is another black woman. So he's got two black women. He's got an Asian lady. He's got the white lady, like an older white woman. He's got Katy Perry. He's hitting all of these different age groups, races. Like, I don't hate Gayle King. I kind of like Gayle King. You know what I'm saying? So when you put her up there, it's like, all right, you brought back Gayle King. Some people were like, you could have left Katy Perry up there. That's what some people said.
Gayle King hopped out of the dick and put her hands up like she flew that motherfucker and took a bow.
And that's the thing. It was.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I've done everything I could.
Now it was fully automated, and all of these women have now written like a book about the training they had to go through to like do this. Apparently there was a training and they had to go sit in something and there was some G-forces and all this kind of stuff. So that's going to be a reality show. Somebody going through the training to go get on this ride, or if they haven't done it already, it'll be a small movie for these ladies. It'll probably come on Lifetime or one of them joints. Draco, what's up? I see you in the chat. And Al Bond, like I said, we got the dudes in this chat this morning because we're getting ready to finish up anyway. But y'all just savages. Yeah. Seems like the beginning of a skin flick. It might. I mean, I don't know what to call it, but I'm just saying, you know, you get a little group of friends in here.
Lost in her space.
I like it. I like it. So
Deep 6'9".
So I'm gonna tell the one guy, Mr. Elon Musk, they got you in their crosshairs, bro. They're coming for your companies. This idea of the landing rocket, this thing didn't need the arm to catch it. It just landed on that was different.
You've got the cover of that movie right now,
Yeah. And the rich people will be the ones that start it. But you know how we do. We gonna want to flex. Somebody's gonna want to flex and be like, "Yo, I'm booking the new Glen trip, man. I know it's $17,000 a person, but it's worth it."
The new Glen.
Yeah, the new Glen trip.
I can't wait. Others come out with the space shuttle with the hydraulics on it, just for the presentation. It might not even take off,
And I'm gonna let this last black lady, because I can't remember her name, but she was apparently important. I thought she was on Real Housewives or something. I thought that's who she was, but she's not. I think she's a news anchor or something. But I'll let her finish out her little statement because I can't play all of it. It's
and
a
I know
lot.
There are a lot of people watching right now, some young boys and some young girls that are inspired constantly by you. What would you like to say to them?
Dream it, plan it, and go and do it. I never really thought I could go to space, although I really wanted to go. And today just confirmed that dreams are real, and sometimes reality is wrong.
And your dreams just came true. Congratulations. Go enjoy this with your family. Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
All the tears, yo. I'm telling you, Bezos is a damn genius, yo. I didn't see it. I didn't see this coming. Real quick, did you hear about this flight before it happened?
No.
Neither did I. All of a sudden it was trending, and I'm watching it like, oh, who did this? Bezos. Okay, so he's going to take Elon out. Forget SpaceX. They're going to need to work together so that they can
Elon
make
is going to regret the last 2 or 3 months, bro.
He is.
Like, what the fuck were you thinking, sir?
Yeah,
Even Dogecoin is in this shit.
And let's let Katy Perry say her little part, and then we're going to get out of here because I know that this can be inspiring. I have granddaughters, and I would love for them to feel like they can be astronauts. So this is very inspiring. It's a feel-good kind of thing, and I like it. I really do. And Katy Perry looks really good.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love. So connected to love. I
To
think
love.
This experience
What did
has
y'all do
shown
up there?
me you never know how much love is inside of you, like how much love you have to give, and how loved you are until the day you launch.
We had these incredible shots of Daisy watching you as the rocket. It'll make me cry.
What the fuck is she talking
about? So proud. Just kept saying, "Mommy, mommy," and I know you'll feel the same way.
This is awesome cinema right here, bro. She got the sunflower.
It was important for you not only because
dandelion,
it's your
whatever the hell
daughter's
she
name,
got.
but why else was that important to bring it?
Daisies are common flowers, but they grow through any condition.
Yo.
They grow through
Daisies.
cement. They go through cracks. They go through walls. They are resilient. They are powerful. They are strong. They are everywhere. Flowers are, to me, God's smile, but it's also
I can see Saturday Night Live having a fit.
Oh, they're going to have a fit on this one, aren't they?
Flowers here and God's smile.
I did it with love.
Beautiful magic that is everywhere.
A dude would have got off that shit and said, that shit was kick ass, bro.
Right. Man, coming back down, I thought I was going to throw up.
I feel
Gayle
so connected
shared
with
us
love.
The song that you sang when you got up there. What a wonderful world. Why was that important to sing that particular song?
So that's the other part. There's a video that's going to come out of her singing while she was floating around in space. That's next. So they're going to kill on promotion, money, everything on this. Bezos is a damn genius.
Is she gonna sing the Louis Armstrong version? Like,
I don't know.
wonderful,
What a wonderful world.
I see. Yo,
so,
she does that, I'm done.
Once again in the chat, they're saying, hey, they didn't go all the way to space. They just put the tip in.
Cause don't you big ass thruster that crashed through that glass ceiling.
Yo. I'm just telling you, this is definitely the start of something. It could get nasty. You put the right crew in there, boy. Get a couple of drinks going. Yeah, forget the Mile High Club. Forget that. We're going all the way up. All right.
I'm having a problem getting hard. Right. The G-force.
The G-forces are pushing my nuts back. So, nonetheless, let me let Katie finish. But this is.
Do we have to? God damn it.
We do. We just do.
All right.
Because I want to catch history in motion when all these people are talking about how inspired they are, and they're going to be, oh my God, Katy Perry felt so connected to love. I want to connect to love. So I want to go.
Love.
Katy Perry said it changed her life. So if it did that, I want to change my life like Katy Perry
selling millions of records didn't already do that?
No.
Now I know how much I'm loved. You really love me. Oh my God. Yeah. Please have a seat. Shady Perry.
I've covered that song in the past, and obviously
her makeup is awesome. Who did the makeup in the pod
because I had no
on the way
clue
back
that
down? Who was the makeup
I
person?
would decide to sing a little bit of that in space, but I think that it's not about me. It's not about singing my songs.
Here we go.
It's about
love.
Collective energy in there. It's about us. It's about making space for future women and taking up space and belonging. And it's about this wonderful world that we see right out there and appreciating it. This is all for the benefit of Earth.
You have done so many incredible things in your life, selling millions of records, selling out stadiums.
What's this about?
Where does this experience rate for you?
This experience is right.
Women have already gone to space.
But Katy Perry didn't go.
That's it. And that's why it was hard for me to go, because that's all I love right there. And I have to surrender and trust that the
talking like women haven't. Like there's plenty of broads that have been up that are like at a satellite station right now.
They just brought one back. Elon just brought one back.
They were probably at the station like, what the fuck is that dick doing? Just blew his fucking head off.
Worthiness.
Talking about busting a nut.
You wanted to go to space for the fearless women in your life as well, your sister and your mom. What was their reaction when you got to see them after you got off the capsule?
I have only seen my mom, and I was like, "Are you okay, Mom?" She just knew. She knew. She was totally okay, and I'm sure.
I thought you were gonna kill yourself.
I was scared, and then you came back, and now I'm not scared anymore.
Now I'm not scared.
She was so super confident. My mom, she has this thing where she can see. I mean, even down to the
some people can see.
Yeah,
it's
crazy, right?
Being tortoise, I know you spoke to all of your fans about that. That the capsule's named tortoise, the feather on the side, that the symbol of Blue Origin. All of those gave you confidence that this.
Hold up, the capsule was named tortoise because I guess it looks like the shell with a head was named tortoise. The shaft was the new Glenn. Okay.
Well, because somebody already took the name dildo. So.
Right. So
we had left
Space Dildos. Starring Katy Perry and the rest of them. So, all right. God. Well, I can't take much more of it, but I just, like I said, there is some question as to whether or not this whole thing was even real. I saw the capsule landing. There was a couple of quick cuts where, yes, things could have been changed around. So I'll be honest, if I wasn't there, I can't confirm it. Because, yes, cinematography, they can do a lot. And I would be inclined to believe that if you were going up with G-forces and all that, your hair and makeup wouldn't be perfect when you come back down.
Not one of them said, okay, it is round. Or, okay, it's fucking flat.
Well,
they lied.
Early in, because I didn't play the whole every interview, but the one lady said that they saw the moon. Somebody said they saw the moon. And that Earth looked quiet. What that got to do with the Earth? Earth looked quiet.
Earth was flat or round. They could have ended this fucking debate just like that.
Man, this shit is round, man.
I'll bet you. No. I'm not arguing that. I don't care either way. I'm stuck here. My point, and I won't get this chance that she got, because even if it was 17 bands, I'm not paying that. But my point, they were probably instructed, do not tell them what it looks like.
Man, they took pictures. I'm gonna do some more research because this just happened yesterday, so I haven't gotten all of the follow-ups, but I know that they got books that they're writing already. I saw that. I know Gayle King has a book called like The Outer Limits or something about it. You know, they're already ready to make their money off of this. So, but I think if they keep the semi-hot women going up and coming back and being all emotional, this would be an awesome commercial.
Semi-hot.
Yeah. Yeah, like hot for their ages and demographic. Like Gayle King's not ugly. You know what I'm saying? And for older guys, she's probably like, man, I would definitely crown that king. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and they hit Katy Perry. Like Bezos is a genius, man. Yeah. Would you book the trip though, Bricks? Would you go? Would you jump in the tip?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, I'm going to tell you what. They had this thing was obviously staged to a degree. There was scripted things that they had to say. They obviously had makeup and hair done. Because I can only imagine if you go up to space and you have a helmet on, your hair is not going to look like this. So they didn't even have helmets on. I think the thing was pressurized somehow to give them oxygen. So this is a consumer thing. This is a regular people are going to be trying to do this thing.
You ever see astronauts go up? First of all, helmet on. They got the big dumb baby things on.
Right.
Then they put the helmet on. These went up with beautiful hair and makeup. I mean, it's okay.
Like I said, there's some talk about whether or not this was staged. And to certain degrees, I could say if they wanted to stage it, it definitely could have been staged.
I don't understand what the need for a rocket really is, to be honest with you, because we have, what are them planes called? UVA, something A's or something?
Yeah.
Those spy planes that go up to 70,000 feet, bro.
Right.
70,000 feet.
Well,
okay,
technically,
just
they
pull
didn't
up
even
a
go
little
up
bit.
that high. They went up lower than that. They didn't go all the way out. They went up high enough to like feel the difference, I guess, in pressure or gravity, but not high enough that they needed the big suit with the helmet and that whole situation.
Right.
So this is the most expensive carnival ride you have ever seen, has just now been unleashed to the rest of us. It'll be at King's Dominion in 2027. So
you think so?
Or something. It's coming. Why else do this? Why do this? See, at least Elon's situation, when he went, he was putting people back on Earth who were stuck. So there was like a reason to go. This was literally just a publicity thing to push for this Blue Origin rocket thing. That's it.
I wonder if you can buy it on Amazon.
I'm pretty sure you could probably purchase the tickets. You can book the trip right on Amazon. Bezos just put the nail in the coffin of Elon's situation right here. Because Elon wasn't talking about, he was talking about sending robots up, sending Optimus robots to Mars, but forget Mars, man. I just want to go up and come back down like Katy Perry
Well,
did.
he didn't have no choice but to do that because he didn't like 2 or 3 of them explode this year alone.
What, the robots? Or people?
No, the rockets. His rockets.
Oh, yeah, his rockets have been exploding a little bit. So now Bezos comes in and he put his girlfriend on there. So that means you really trust this rocket, or you're really trying to get rid of your girlfriend.
Peralta said, what should we call him? Astro
Nookie. It's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be a reality show.
Sexy space bitches.
Yeah, think about it. Did you see the outfits? I guarantee somebody's going to dress up like that for Halloween. You know, this is money just starting. A few years from now, we'll be having it's going to be a whole trip. They'll be going to Floston Paradise, just like in The Fifth Element and shit. With Chris Tucker in there and talking about, come
Instead
on,
of Star
baby.
Trek, Star Sex. Yeah, man.
I hope you're ready.
I am lost in space with 3 bad ones.
What do I do? I have 3 baddies available here.
Yeah. I'm a fucker, not a doctor, Jim.
I'm giving her all she's got.
Adopted.
Yo, they're going to start paying with a firm.
Yeah, it's going to give a whole new meaning to this fucking hand
Right.
gesture.
Yes, let's go. So I don't know, guys. I think that we are on the brink of something crazy here, all the way until somebody dies. Okay, so we're good until somebody dies. That's how most roller coasters are. It's the best thing until there's an accident. So for right now, we'll give Bezos his flowers, so to speak. That was smart as hell to put a bunch of attractive women of different ages and different races into a tip of a penis and send it out into the darkness and back.
And not make the American people pay for it.
That was the other thing. That wasn't no government money. That's why we didn't hear nothing about it. And when did Blue Origin come out? I didn't even know there was another SpaceX kind of thing going on. I thought it was just NASA and SpaceX.
That sounds like Jay-Z and Beyonce's other child.
Yeah, man.
Blue Origin.
Now, see, Purple Groovy, I understand what you're saying regarding the plastic surgery, but Katy Perry looks good in this. I'm not gonna be mean. It's the first lady, Bezos' girlfriend. She is interesting looking to me. That's this lady.
You'd still smash, though. I'd smash.
Yes. She got in trouble for having her oobs out in the White House that day. She had like a little low-hanging top and had her fake ones out. So I guess if they're fake, it shouldn't matter if you see them. They're not real.
That's true.
So, but yeah, this lady is definitely plasticed up.
They didn't have any problem showing us that big old spaceship.
Yeah, I felt violated watching it take off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
look at him sitting in the top of it.
And see, this lady represents like the plastic women, the BBL chicks, you know, all of the fake women with the lips and all that.
Nope. I disagree. This represents I trust my invention so much
that I will put my fiance in there. Yeah, he put his lady in there. They're supposed to be getting married. And she makes a joke in her little interview saying, "Hey, if you wanted to marry me, you didn't have to send me to space." Like, okay, all right, man. So, but I see he ain't sending himself up there.
No.
Now, I trusted enough to send you.
My name is Jeff Bezos, and I'm down here.
Right. It's Jeff Bezos, not Spaceos, okay? So I'm staying right where I'm at.
I'm not space host.
Right. So
I'm Earth money. Yeah.
So you guys, I hope you're ready. Book the trip. It'll be available on Affirm and Klarna coming up very soon, if you're ready for it. If not, I mean, I would just hope that eventually people would go inhabit another place, man. Lessen the traffic a little bit. Let's get like a double Earth thing going on. I'm with it now. I wasn't really with it. I'm not going. I'm just saying everybody that wants to go should be able to go. And y'all can stay once you get there, okay? Don't come back.
Right.
And if you start growing a third arm, I don't want to hear nothing. Nothing at all. So nonetheless, let me stop.
Throw me tango K eater.
Let me stop my situation. All right, so we're going to bring it back. We have done that which we do, which is to purge the BS. And I'm letting everybody know right now, get ready for your commercial space flight, because Bezos is a damn genius. That's all I can say with that. That was really good publicity. Now everybody's asking about it. Now it's the talk of the town. Now all these women are doing interviews and they're going to women empowerment conferences, and it's going to be a whole movement behind like chicks just flexing on going up in the penis.
So, what if it was like Tony Soprano sitting next to Elon Musk and it says, he looks over at Elon and says, "You know, you should be doing shit like this. What the fuck am I paying you for?"
That's exactly what's
going on.
You
see what the fuck he just did?
I don't know, man. I think that might have been tough one for Elon. He had to take that one.
Oh my God. We gave you all this fucking money, and the guy over there that's not asking for shit is the one taking all of the broads to space.
Yeah, he's taking the broads up. They got makeup on. You brought back the lady with a bush.
Yeah, dish.
So there's a thought that people might start deporting people to space. I heard about that. Like once they inhabit whatever, that'll be where they send them.
Deporting them?
Yeah.
Jesus. We're deporting you to no oxygen and Icelandic temperatures.
Right. Like, I don't know. But the sky's the limit. Well, is it?
Used to be.
Now, Katy Perry.
That is shooting dicks through it.
Yeah. It's just penetrating it anytime they want to.
Anytime.
So I feel good about this purge. I feel like Bezos got a chance to purge, and he pushed his new Glen penile up into the abyss and the darkness. And I feel good about that. I mean, I wouldn't feel good if it punctured me, but I'm just saying I feel good to know that eventually some stars are going to get on that thing and it's going to be a tragedy. Just saying. I'll be here for that too.
Just saying. Yeah. We'll be here live to report it.
To report on that. You know, YouTube will probably cut the video, but it is what it is.
Right.
So I think we're good on this video. I think we did not get any strikes today. I want to thank everybody who came into the chat because I got to get out of here. I got shit to do, as usual. But I wanted to thank you all for enjoying this monumentous and historic occasion of the world before we had commercial spaceflight. Welcome to the new world, everybody. Here we are. Katy damn Perry, man. What is that song? Yeah, baby, like a firework, or whatever the hell that song was. You know that song.
Hold on, let me get this straight. The words were, baby, like a firework.
Yeah, something with a firework at the end.
Yeah.
I know the song. I would know it when I hear it. And I did, she's a great artist. Great artist. So, nonetheless, we got to go. Bricks, you got anything else for the people?
No, just remember your ointments.
Remember your ointments when you're shooting them new Glens up in you. So, all right, I got to give my shout-outs real quick. Hold on. So, Veralto, thanks for stopping in the chat. Purple Groovy, thanks for stopping in the chat. Albon, thank you for stopping in the chat.
I
am Z in the chat. And everybody else, Draco stopped in for a little bit, so thanks for stopping in. And I think that's pretty much everybody that meant something. Oh, and Adrian Kennedy, who stopped in earlier to ask about Josh Shapiro's security detail. So,
right.
But anyway, with that, I must get up out of here because if I stay on here too long, I will never leave the internet. And that's dangerous. All right. I'm out of here, man. That's that bullshit. We out.
The day, dude.